Pokémon, we all love it. From the games and anime to plushies and TCG. We now have over 1,000 unique creatures, ensuring that every single Pokémon is someone's favorite. Naturally, this means everyone wants to see their topics in the spotlight, whether getting a new form or, better yet, a playable appearance in fighting games like Pokémon Tournament and Super Smash Bros. For years, fans have speculated on how different Pokémon could fit into a platform fighter, designing unique movesets and abilities, and that's exactly where Rivals of Aether Workshop comes into play. Unlike other Smash games and mods, the Rivals Workshop offers a massive selection of fun and extremely well-made Pokémon fighters to choose from. So today, I'll be picking my top 10 favorite Pokémon in Rivals Workshop. Before we continue though, I have two disclaimers. First, I won't be ranking the Pokémon who are already playable in Super Smash Bros. So mods like Greninja by Rubercuber and Lucario by Lucario won't be featured today. I will be discussing these and other Smash characters in a future video though, so please don't miss that out. Second, there is a lot of Pokémon in Rivals Workshop, so I might miss a couple of mods here and there. But on that note, I also encourage you to look up the Rivals Workshop yourself and see if perhaps someone has made your favorite Pokémon as a character. Or better yet, take that as an opportunity to make it yourself. So okay, without further ado, gotta catch 'em all.
Who's that Pokémon?
We are starting off strong with a fan favorite, Gengar, created by Blender and Ryoku. Gengar is an extremely floaty character. Their aerial movement is off the charts, with floaty jumps, attacks that leave them airborne, and powerful tools to turn into their opponent's worst nightmare. Gengar's primary special is his forward special, Minun Look. Gengar creates a physical wall in front of them, which not only can aid your movement with wall jumps, but is also a great way of trapping your opponents or even enhancing their projectiles. Speaking of projectiles, that's Gengar's neutral special, Shadow Ball. Gengar can charge his projectile, increasing its range and power, but most importantly, it causes the curse status on your opponent. Whenever a player is cursed though, Gengar can automatically teleport to their location with their up special, really keeping on the offensive and not letting your opponents fall asleep on the wheel.
Who's that Pokémon?
Well, they were apparently scrapped in Brawl, but they got a new chance to shine. Created by Gurami and Mauro, Plusle and Minun work very similarly to the Ice Climbers in Smash Bros. You can even control them at the same time by holding the special button, or even swap between them, using their neutral special, Baton Pass. Both Plusle and Minun have the same regular attacks and strongs, many of them being multi-hitting and fast attacks so you can keep on the offensive. Their specials differ a little bit between them though. Up special is the classic quick attack, however, Plusle has a sweet spot at the end of the dash, where Minun has a sweet spot at the start of it. With Plusle, with the forward special is a fast and strong projectile, whereas Minun is a slow and bigger multi-hitting orb. And finally for the down special is Helping Hand. The backup Pokémon will start cheering their leader on, increasing their damage and even enhancing their strongs. However, that's not all. The more the leader lands attacks and successfully combos their opponents, the backup Pokémon will gain more and more charge. If you use down special again, the backup Pokémon will instead perform a powerful discharge attack, growing in strength the more you charge it. Keep in mind, by using Baton Pass, you can even swap between the cheering and the leader Pokémon, while still keeping the charge. Ideal to really land a powerful attack when your opponent least expects it.
Who's that Pokémon?
The never-ending nightmare, Darkrai, created by Hemuth and Darkrai. This Pokémon is a true deceptive fighter, which is perfectly conveyed in its nightmarish animations and especially that weirdly good sound design. Darkrai can create phantoms which serve as powerful tools for movement and stage control, as well as come to life in the nightmare world. On the topic of phantoms, Darkrai can create these phantoms by using neutral special and up special, both having specific inputs which allows you to better set up your different phantoms. These phantoms can also be teleported by using forward special with the shield input. The phantoms can also explode on contact if another player lingers too long close to them. Now for the best part. For his down special, Darkrai uses Dark Void. This command grab may seem hard to land, but when you do, you're in for a treat. The opponent will be trapped in a world of horror, granting Darkrai his nightmare mode. During this move, not only does his attack gain extra power and range, but the phantoms will also come to life, absolutely wreck anyone caught in this terrible dream. On that note, during his Nightmare mode, Darkrai's down special instead turns into Dream Eater, his ultimate attack, sporting low damage but an insane amount of knockback scaling. Truly a finishing touch.
Who's that Pokémon?
Okay, so this is not cheating. Egg isn't a Pokemon yet. So Egg, created by Robo Shy Guy, this is quite a crazy, unique character. Egg is a mid-weight grappler with his moveset featuring lots of fun and weird moves as well as various references to shiny hunting and breeding from Pokemon. Just like in Pokemon, the more you move around with the egg, the faster it will hatch, indicated by the visuals on its HUD. Its various specials are different references to breeding and shiny hunting staples. Like Down Special, a counter using a shiny charm, when activated it counts down the hatching timer 2 times faster. The Up Special is based on the Wonder Trade. It works as a teleport move. However, you can swap places with another character if you aim it just right, ideal for really turning the Edge Guarding on its head. Forward Special and Up Strong are powerful command grabs, great and satisfying to land. And for the Neutral Special, Egg summons an Adrenaline Orb. Orb changes some of your specials. You can even use it as a target for Forward Special, throw it as a projectile with Down Special, and swap places with it using Up Special. And of course, after all of this moving around, the egg is ready to hatch. Just press attack and special at the same time for their ultimate attack. A giant multi-hitting blast. Oh look, a shiny!
Who's that Pokémon?
The Wishing Star, Jirachi, created by Hilponia and Spider-Boy. Jirachi is an extremely well-made and versatile character to play, with incredible looking animations and satisfying effects and sound design. Jirachi was designed as a full-on aerial fighter, making use of its various quick bursts of movement like a real shooting star. To solidify this aerial playstyle, many of Jirachi's moves actually leave them airborne or even shift their actual movement a little bit. On top of that, Jirachi's strongs can only be performed while in the air, and they all really pack a punch. Their forward special, aside from having hitbox at start, is also a valuable movement option in the form of an air dash. And their up special, Wish, helps Jirachi recover back to state, rather than recover health. Neutral special is Swift, an extremely fast projectile. However, it only deals knockback and hit stun if the target is already in hit stun, opening up new combo routes. And finally, for their signature move, Jirachi's Doom Desire, an extremely powerful multi-hitting remote attack. However, it's one that only triggers after a short while. If you're feeling patient though, you can throw the opponent right when the eye flashes to trigger it sooner. This, however, puts the special in a short cooldown, so be mindful to not waste this powerful wish.
Who's that Pokémon?
It's not Jigglypuff seen from above, no. Electrode, created by Artist of Seer and Delta Parallax. It's shocking how great Electrode was translated into a fighting game environment, especially considering they literally have no limbs, meaning they couldn't really rely on regular punches, kicks, or slashes for regular attacks. So you'll notice that every single one of their beautifully made animations make use of a fitting Pokemon attack. Electrode has 2 main gimmicks, the first one being their neutral special, Gyro Ball. Electrode throws a Voltorb forward, working as a short-range projectile, but also as a way to deploy your Voltorb. And what does it do exactly? You can hit the Voltorb with your attacks, throw it around with a hitbox. You can also use neutral special again, detonating the Voltorb and creating a hitbox around yourself, both being great for combos. But most importantly, you can use down special, Magnetic Flux. It pulls Electrode towards their Voltorb, creating unheard and versatile ways for you to move around. Their forward special is Spark, a regular style burst option supporting hitbox, but that's not all. You can charge the special move, which not only powers the special itself, but it also fully enhances your other strong attacks, as well as your dash speed. This strong benefit comes at a cost though. During this overcharged state, aside from taking more damage and knockback, his empowered attacks also cause some recoil damage, so only go for these empowered moves and overcharge if you really don't mind overdoing yourself in the heat of battle. Now this is a big character. Created by Harbage 12, Regigigas is a force to be reckoned with. One of the biggest workshop characters to still remain balanced and fun to fight against. Regigigas' sheer size and power on their own are enough to make one of the most fun and well-made characters in all of Workshop. Regigigas' main gimmick is, of course, slow start, just like the Pokémon games. Here, Regigigas also takes a couple of time until their full potential is unleashed, freeing the character from its shackles and allowing its big and slow swings to truly shine, like their down special, Focus Punch, a move very similar to the classic Falcon Punch, even sporting armor for some extra safety. Regigigas' neutral special is Stone Edge, summoning a sharp stone pillar from the ground. Fast and ideal combo starter. It even works when used while in the air above the stage. Their forward special is Crush Grip, a somewhat fast and very satisfying command grab. And finally for their up special is Rock Climb, a leap forward which, when it comes to contact with a wall, allows Regigigas to cling to it and start climbing. Even jump back to the stage with some added safety thanks to its super armor. Mastering Regigigas may seem like a tough mountain to be climbed, but just like conquering its slow start, it's all worth it.
Who's that Pokémon?
Now Crab is not only one of my favorite Pokemon in Workshop, but I also believe this is one of the most underrated Workshop characters as well. Created by Mr. Nart, Krabby is a stance-based character actually, opting for using its regular stance with its claws, which give him extra power and range in certain moves, like his Strongs and some aerials, but it also weights him down a little bit, unlike the Declone stance, which is weaker with less range, but also much lighter and faster. He has a small bar above him, showcases the HP of his claws. Landing claw attacks decreases this meter, and if Crab lands claw attacks while the meter is empty or blink, Crab will take some recoil damage. But fear not, with his neutral special, Crab Hammer, which is not only a very powerful swing, but also your main way of fully breaking your claws. In this state, Crab is much faster and some of his specials change a little bit. But worry not, once the meter is full again, you can use your down special, Harden, which not only serves as a counter, but it also grows the claws back once again. Up special is the same in both stances, the classic Bubble Beam. Krabby spills bubble beneath him, carrying him upwards, a simple recovery move, which even sends you higher if you don't have your claws. His forward special with the claws is Vice Grip, a lunge attack with a grab that leads to a throw, great for spiking opponents off stage. Without the claws, he also has a different neutral special, Bubble, a shine style move, which you can never go wrong with. And finally we have my favorite, being his Declone forward special, Water Gun. This is a fast and powerful burst movement option. Krabby shoots a spray of water behind him, carrying them forwards, which of course is a great way of closing the gap between you and your opponents. But that's not all. If you hit them with the back portion of the move, the water gun part is a devastating KO option, especially near the blast zone.
Who's that Pokémon?
I don't even know where to even begin with this character. Created by Dr. Nan, MissingNo is certainly a character in Rivals Workshop, and certainly a Pokemon of some kind. Keeping with the character's origins, MissingNo can and absolutely will glitch out the entire match with broken visuals, attacks with insane properties, animations, and movement options that should be impossible, and everything in between. Let's start with some simple attacks. Up special is Sky Attack, being one of the few Pokemon moves MissingNo can actually learn, so this is fit. MissingNo flies high in the air and then comes crashing down, if you press special again that is. A simple recovery move. Forward special is based on Water Gun, another move MissingNo can learn. This move has 3 levels of charge, increasing in power with each level. Oh, did we run out of simple moves to detail? Well, okay. So their back special is... With this move, MissingNo can copy other moves, just like they can do in Pokemon Red and Blue. If you perform any attack and then hold the special button, MissingNo will copy that move. Then each time you input back special, MissingNo will perform that copied move, allowing them to perform grounded attacks while in the air and even some unique properties depending on the move they copy. You can also copy moves from your opponent. If you hold down special while hitting your opponent, your HUD image will change and you copy the last attack the opponent has performed. Neutral special is Pokeball or Catch. MissingNo turns to another glitched sprite and throws a Pokeball forward. If this Pokeball misses an opponent and touches the ground, this Pokeball creates a copy of MissingNo. You then control both of them at the same time, doubling your range and attack potential, but also making you just as vulnerable to attacks. You are double the target after all. If you happen to hit your clone with the neutral special Pokeball again, you can create yet another clone for a total of 3 entities. You can also do the same to your opponent, creating clones of themselves by hitting them or their clone with a Pokeball. And finally, for their down special is the iconic MissingNo performs a grab and glitches their opponent a little bit, which can cause a variety of not so random effects, such as freezing, cause the burn status, turning both players invisible, perform Audis Bash, applying debuffs, turn the percentage to a negative value, a self-destruct attack, and so much more. These trolls can also glitch out your opponent's visuals in quite a variety of different manners. And trust me, we're just scratching the surface. This character has moves that are stronger against enemies with low percentages, moves that change properties if your percentage ends with 1 or 7, moves that move you all around, moves that increase in size the more you whiff it, and all while being a very fun character to play with some insanely well done effects and even references to the original MissingNo glitch, other glitches and creepypastas like Gigas and the Biology, and even specific references to workshop modding. It's generally nuts. I could very easily make an entire video on just this character, to be honest. And hey, if that's something you guys would like to see, please let me know. But okay, before we check out the number 1 spot, let's go over some honorable mentions. Koffing is a very fun character with some fun movement, also sporting aerial strongs and a mechanic where they can spawn poison clouds, which not only damage opponents, but also ignite and explode with your fire attacks, even being able to create explosive chain reactions. Tapu Koko is a fast rushdown character with some very powerful and explosive options. They can summon lighting terrain areas by landing sweet spots of certain attacks. These thunderous areas can then enhance their already powerful specials and strongs with unique properties. Mimikyu sports incredible looking animations and satisfying sound design, on top of a simple yet fun gimmick where they can inflict the curse status on their opponents using a variety of moves, including a Will-O-Wisp, which also interacts with their specials. Cursed opponents, however, take extra damage from needle-based attacks, as well as Mimikyu's forward special, Let's Snuggle Forever. Aww. Meteor is a stance-based character. Normally, while sporting their rocky shell, Meteor is heavier and slower. You can break out of your shell though, using various different attacks. In this form, however, Meteor gains new powerful special moves, as well as an added mobility and power. However, if their core stays out for too long, they'll start taking damage. So a good balance between forms is ideal. Now this character is something else. Unknowns are famous for their various shapes taking the form of the alphabet. Or maybe it's the contrary. And that's exactly how they work here. Each attack, special or strong input alongside a direction, performs an attack corresponding to a letter. And by writing actual words, for example, like and subscribe, you can unleash their special attack, Hidden Power, using their taunt to unleash devastating attacks. The bigger the word, the stronger the effect. And finally, it's Blaziken, one of my very own creations, so I can't really put him in the top 10, right? This fast pushdown Pokemon sports powerful and fast attacks and mobility options with a unique mechanic where, by tapping shield at the startup of any attack, Blaziken can enhance his various moves, change their properties like additional damage, coverage, armor, and even additional hits, all at the cost of Blaziken's very own percentage.
Who's that Pokémon?
And at number 1 we have, of course, Volcarona by Artist of Seer. And let me tell you, this character is phenomenal, easily being one of the best animated characters in all of Workshop. More impressive when we consider Volcarona isn't your typical humanoid character, but a moth no less, meaning all of their various attacks and animations had to get very creative on their execution. Volcarona is a full-on aerial character, sporting multiple jumps, amazing coverage, and great mobility options. Their main gimmick is their neutral special, Quiver Dance. Volcarona spins around and gains a Quiver Dance charge, up to 2 at max. With each charge, Volcarona's overall speed and damage output also increases. But that's not all. They can consume a single charge of Quiver Dance to empower any of their specials, creating unique and powerful variation. Their neutral special itself, when consuming a charge, turns into Fiery Dance, a multi-hitting fiery attack that covers your entire body, being a great option for scoring kills off the top or even catching opponents off guard, especially thanks to its added vertical boost. Their forward special normally is Heat Wave, a simple lingering projectile, weak with short range. When consuming a charge, however, Volcarona instead uses Fire Blast right after the first attack, being a devastating projectile with amazing speed and range. Their down special is Giga Drain, a versatile command grab which not only heals you a little bit, however, despite being a command grab with nice range, it can be hard to properly combo out of it. Consuming a charge, however, adds an additional follow-up in the form of Fire Spin, really turning this attack to a potent and extremely reliable combo tool. And finally, for their up special is, of course, Fly. This move works as an additional jump and vertical movement. After all, it doesn't put you in breathfall. When consuming a charge though, this move gains a second part, Flare Blitz. This additional attack not only furthers aid in your recovery, especially since you can aim it in different directions, but the flaming charge itself really packs a punch. It's fitting since you also receive some recoil damage when using it. Volcarona may seem simple, but that's exactly what makes them my absolute favorite Pokémon in Rivals Workshop. A very simple to learn and hard to master character, where every single one of its many attacks and charge variations serve a real purpose on the character's kit, with added incredible animations and visual effects just being the cherry on top. So I say that's all. We have so many amazing Pokémon mods in Workshop, so I know I'm missing a couple, so please comment down below what are some of your favorite Pokémon that didn't make the cut. As well as, did you learn about any new mod you weren't familiar with? Please let me know down below, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more. I'm planning on making more and more Rivals Workshop videos in the future, so please be on the lookout for that. So, I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.